If you have questions, we have answers. Join us live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Talkin' RV Tech, presented by RVTravel.com.
Here's a sample from one of our recent shows.
So Robert now says he has a Winnebago 29B and have it plugged in when not in use. Are there any concerns about long-term plug-in through the automatic transfer switch? Go ahead, guys.
Not necessarily the process of, hey, through the transfer switch. You don't want to leave the unit plugged in all the time. You know, the batteries are not designed to constantly take a charge. Yes, the converter is going to float the charge when necessary, but it doesn't need to constantly be doing that. Those batteries need to be cycled, up and down. They're designed to perform a chemical reaction inside the battery. And if you're constantly keeping them loaded, then the one plate is constantly loaded with ions and it's not allowing it to do what it needs to do, and it's bad for the battery. So you should, once a month, once every couple months or whatever, unplug the coach, use some stuff, drain the batteries down, plug it back in. They need to perform that function.
And most everybody, when they're living in them,
and they evaporate.
Yeah.
They'll evaporate.
Assuming he's got lead acid batteries.
Yeah. Assuming he's got
and with a Winnebago 29B, which I'm not sure. It's challenging now because Winnebago bought Grand Design, and then they bought the Sunnybrook, and now they're calling the trailer side Winnebagos. So when somebody says I got a Winnebago 29B, it could be a motorized, could be a Class C, or it could be a trailer. And typically the trailers are going to have lead acid batteries, and they use Napa. That's what they've been using for the last 10 years or so. And but you're right. And most of what Winnebago does is they are using the Progressive Dynamics charger in those, and it will do a 13.8 charge for about 8 hours, and then drops down to 13.2. So it is a good idea to kind of cycle those a little bit if you're able to.
The bad thing about it is, think about it as like, if it's constantly, for you guys that are watching, if it's constantly charging the batteries and they're not being drained down and charged back up, it can potentially dry out the water that's in the battery itself, which then will cause it to go into boost mode, which will then can either catch the batteries on fire or burn up the converter. So we don't want you to damage, especially if you have a big Class A motorhome, you have an inverter converter that are several thousands of dollars. We don't want you to ruin those. So, if you're going to plug it in all the time at your house, say whether you're storing it for the other gentleman's running like a dehumidifier or a fan in it, or you're just keeping it plugged in to keep stuff in your refrigerator cool as a secondary refrigerator, once a month, go out, unplug the power, turn it on for 3, 4, 5 hours, drain the batteries down as if you're dry camping, and then plug it back in and let it charge back up. But still keep in mind that check the water level in your batteries as needed.
Yep. Another option too is take the batteries out and bring them back to your garage. Just put them on a charger.
Yeah, you can. We that's such a most. I argue that with people back and forth all the time, because if you have 6 batteries in your diesel pusher,
I agree. But I'm saying on a 29B, he's got
all the wiring,
and a lot of people are gonna say, well, I can't get out there once a month. I put it in here and it's back, and so there's a lot of variables. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then with that many batteries in play, even if it's 4, if you don't take a picture or make yourself a map of where those battery connections went and didn't mark them, we get that all the time. Somebody's pulled them out because they were used to doing it. Exactly. Yeah. They pull them out to go and bench charge them or to keep them up to par, and then they don't know how it got wired back in, and then they're bringing it in where they've done, like you said, they made 24 volts or made 18 volts and damaged something.
Yep.
So leave them in the coach is my advice, and cycle them. Join us live this coming Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Talkin' RV Tech.
You can join us on any of the YouTube or Facebook destinations linked below.
We hope to see you there.